Pull up a chair, the stories begin. Patrick and Randy are letting you in. From the desert lights where the big names are, it's big conversations, little bar. Athletes and dreamers, stars of the screen, leaders and builders, and all in between, sharing their journeys, how they've come this far. It's big conversations, little bar.
Welcome to Big Conversations, Little Bar, the Coachella Valley's favorite podcast, recorded live at Skip Page's Little Bar in Palm Desert. Get ready for another fascinating hour of meeting people who make the desert city such a spectacular place to be. Now, nestled in their corner booth perch, well lubricated and raring to chat, here's Patrick Evans and Randy Florence.
Thank you, Howard Hoffman. Yes, indeed, we are back here at Skip Page's Little Bar. Another edition of Big Conversations Little Bar, and I'm delighted to introduce my co-host, spiritual guru, the Robin to my Batman, the Tonto to my Kimosabi.
You said delighted, but you leaned back and crossed your arms as you were saying it. You don't look delighted.
I am delighted. What, you want me to hug you? What?
I could use a hug
Give me
today.
your hand. There you go.
Oh, thank you.
Right.
Okay. All's good now. How you doing?
I'm really excited about today.
Oh, let's not even BS each other for the next few minutes. Let's just get into this one because this is really cool.
Well, I've had the pleasure of knowing Nelda for many years, and Nelda Linsk is our guest, and she is going to be crowned the First Lady of Modernism at this year's Modernism, which is phenomenal. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
You've really held that title unofficially.
Without having the title, I held it. Yeah,
It's true.
right.
It's true.
There should be some retroactive back pay, right?
There should.
The city owes her so much money.
I never get paid for this. Now, that's not right,
It's
is it?
not right.
It's not
That's not right
right.
at
I
all.
mean-
And if anybody's listening to us, we'll start a campaign to get you paid.
And I bet you could do that.
Patrick probably could.
Oh, yeah.
Possibly the most popular man in the Coachella Valley.
He is, not possibly.
It is ubiquitous. I don't think it's popularity. In fact, one of my favorite introductions, a gentleman got up and said, today as our MC, we have the beloved Patrick Evans. And if he's not beloved, he's certainly ubiquitous. I'm like, I'll settle for that. That's fine.
I haven't looked that word up since the last time you used it. Let's talk to Nelda. This is so exciting.
Everybody, for frame of reference, the Slim Aarons photograph, Poolside Gossip, is Nelda Linsk. You're the one in yellow.
I'm the one in yellow.
And it's Helen Captor.
JoJo Captor, yes.
Yes. And so
She was the one in the white mesh
The white
next to
lace.
you. White lace?
And
Yes.
So I think virtually everybody listening will know that photograph. They've seen it. Slim Aarons took that picture. Let's start there. Tell us the story, because that was a party, but just you and friends, like just enjoying a party. It wasn't a staged.
Actually, it was a little staged because Slim called me from New York. And he said, I'm going to be in the desert and I want to do some pool shots. So he said, can you call some of your friends and have them come over, pull something out of your closet, and let's make it really casual. And that's what I did. And I didn't know then that it was going to become one of the most famous photographs in the country. It's hanging on everybody's wall. Not
in the
only
world,
in
it's
the
hanging
world.
now.
People come up to me at Modernism from New Zealand, Australia, Dubai, and they say, we have you hanging on our wall. We never dreamt we'd ever meet you. That touches me. And yeah, I'm hanging on everybody's wall.
Yeah. It's one of the most iconic photographs ever taken. And it certainly, it captures what Palm Springs was.
Right. He called me one day from a book signing in New York, and he was at a gallery. And he said, Nelda, why is this photograph so famous? And I said, because I'm in it, Slim.
End of conversation.
But really,
What a dumb question.
I really think it's become so famous because people want to be in that photo.
Yes, yes.
They love our lifestyle. They love the architecture. They love the mountains. They love the sun. They love the pool. They love the house.
I'm taken by the woman on the left who was walking up towards the front.
Yeah, that was Lita Barron.
What was her story?
She was an actress.
Yeah.
She was married to Roy Calhoun. They were a Hollywood couple, good-looking couple.
Oh, yeah.
They did lots of ads together. One cigarette ad that they did that Gary had featured in one of the films that we did. But they were a fabulous couple.
And you were friends? They would have been over at the house anyway, even if you weren't filming?
Sure. And Slim we had a summer house in Bedford Village, New York, which was about 15 minutes from Greenwich.
This is you and your husband,
Joe. And Slim Aarons had a house down the road in Katona. So we knew him there. Not well, but we'd see him in restaurants and we'd see him in the markets. And so we knew him. And he knew me well enough to call me, and he knew we owned the Kaufmann House. So he loved the architecture and he loved the idea of it being in the background. And he made it very casual. It was all over like within an hour.
Wow.
And we went around.
We can't even get this podcast set up in less than
No, and he left. He arrived with a tripod and a camera. No hairdressers, no dressers, no makeup people, just a tripod and a camera. And so after about an hour, we thought we were finished. So we were drinking champagne, having a little party, and he still flipped. That's why there's so many images.
There's so many, and I did not realize that until I went to one of your presentations last year at Modernism Week. And they showed a lot of the photographs from that afternoon. Mm-hmm. And they're all candid. Just capturing images of you and your friends around the pool, just having a little...
I know. And we didn't know he was taking our pictures. We didn't know. And we were just having the best time until after it was all over, we realized how many images there were taken that day. And Grace Holmes, if you go into Grace Holmes, they have all of the photos on their computer. You can see all of them.
Oh, that's phenomenal.
If you want to, and they can order any of them.
It's such a slice of life, and it really is. It embodies what Palm Springs was, and still, I think, aspires to be.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
I imagine a lot of people look at this and just think this was just the way everything was every day, that you all walked around in these beautiful clothes.
We dressed that way every day by the pool.
Every day, yeah. Just to have a conversation around the pool. It's the way it looks, right?
It does. It's such an incredible photo.
It really is.
Have you ever walked into a place not knowing that photo was going to be there and see it hanging?
All the time.
What's the oddest place that you've ever seen it? Or the least expected place?
There's no least expected because it's in so many houses all over the world.
It's everywhere, yeah.
Expensive homes, inexpensive homes. In
that's
restaurants.
good. I can hang one of mine.
Good. I'll buy half of it with you.
I have a very inexpensive house.
Every week we'll trade off. You can have it one week. Yeah, I get custody of it next week. Yeah.
But it's so exciting because when I go into a place and I see it on the wall, I say, "Oh, there I am." And they'll look at me and they'll say, "What do you mean, there you are?" I said, "I'm in the one in the yellow." They said, "What?" And they're so excited to meet me. And I think, I'm just an ordinary person. And they're so excited to meet me. It's like modernism. They come up to me from all over the world. They say, "There you are. We never dreamt we'd ever see you here." And it's Kelly and Mark, her husband, the show that they do in New York.
Consuelos and Ripka.
Ripa.
Yeah.
They were here last year during modernism. They were at the convention center. And they got there before I did. And Gary had seen them. And he knew I was coming. So he was waiting for me at the door. And he grabbed me and he said, "Kelly wants to see you." So we went over to where they were. And there was a photograph on an easel in front of this shop. She said, "Oh, my God, we got to get a picture taken." She had her husband take pictures of us together and of the photo with us in the photo. And that following Monday, she had it on national television.
Wow.
She showed the picture of us taken together. She showed the picture of all the people around looking at us. And we're trying to invite her to modernism this year. This Is Your Life. She would have loved it because she's a big fan of mine. She's a great gal. She was so excited that night talking about Kelly.
They just look like they belong in Palm Springs, don't
Well,
they?
they have a home here.
Yeah, but like full-time, moving their
Right.
show here and everything.
Right. Yes, they should. Why not? They could do it right here at the little bar.
Now, wait a minute.
Yeah. No.
They could take our
No,
place.
they can't.
Somebody that people want to listen to.
Skip fast would Skip throw us out.
That's true.
Really fast.
I think their entourage would take up the whole bar, probably. Yeah. So,
When did you move to Palm Springs?
1962.
I saw.
And after we were married, my husband had been coming out here every year for years to play golf. He spent 6 weeks out here every season.
And he owned a clothing store in Philadelphia, correct?
In Philadelphia, a manufacturing company.
Yeah.
So one day he said, how would you like to go to Palm Springs and learn to play golf and learn to play tennis? And I'd never had time for that. I was always a career gal in fashion. I said, I would love that. So we came out. And the first time we came out, we stayed at the Spa Hotel. And I remember I got out of the car. It was August.
Got back in
And
the
I
car.
said, what are we doing in this hot spot? Let's go back to New York. The next time we came out, we stayed at the Racquet Club. And that became our home. The Racquet Club was where everybody went every weekend. And we were there every day, but all the starlets would come down from Hollywood every weekend. And it was fun. It was such fun in those days. We had the best time. And all the celebrities loved coming here because paparazzi didn't bother them. Right. They had their privacy. They could even go shopping downtown. They wouldn't be bothered. And they loved that about Palm Springs. And they were like 2 hours from L.A., and that's the time frame that they wanted the
That was the whole deal on their contracts and stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. So it was perfect for them.
Yeah.
But
Now, in 1962, a friend of mine in town, a gentleman named Dick Oliphant, I don't know if you ever known Dick. He was the mayor at Indian Wells for a while and such, and he built the tennis center.
Oh, sure.
But he came in the same year, 1962, and he was telling the story of how his office was in Indio, and he would tell the story of driving from Palm Springs to Indio every day. And I said, how long did that take? And he said 45 minutes, and there wasn't one light. And I'm like, it's an hour and 10 minutes now, and there's 100 lights, Dick. So
I know.
But he talked about when they moved there, they moved into Judy Garland's home. And the reason they picked that one is that they had 5 people in the family, and it was the only home in Palm Springs they could find that would house the whole family at that time. So apparently finding a home at that time was a bit of a premium.
It was, especially a 5-bedroom home.
Yeah.
Most homes were 2 or 3 bedrooms. That's it.
So you came in August. It's 800 degrees when you get out of the car. But you decided to stay.
We spent about 3 weeks and then went back to New York. But the next time we came, we rented Claudette Colbert's house in Las Palmas. And we had a realtor that kept wanting us to go and see the Kaufmann House. And we were interested in buying something. And he was showing us other properties because we didn't want a property that had a lot of maintenance. And so we kept saying that house had 6 lots around it. And we said, that's too much maintenance. But one day he came over with a book. And the house was featured in the book. And I said to my husband, I said, let's go look at it just for fun. And we went over to look at it. We arrived at the front gate, and I saw all that stone on the wall going up to the front door and the loggia up above. And it hadn't been lived in for a long time because both the Kaufmanns had passed. We were dealing with the nephew. And so it was a mess. The pool was full of debris. The drapes were falling off the curtain rods. I said, Joe, this is our home.
You could see behind all of that
Yes.
what it could be.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I said, it had great bones. I said, this is our home. And we bought it. We made an offer the next day. We'd already made an offer on Claudette Colbert's house. So we could have ended up with 2 houses. God forbid. But she turned our offer down. And we made an offer on the Kaufmann House, and it was accepted. And after going to the Racquet Club every day, we were friendly with all the people that owned condominiums there. And Arthur had done most of the condominiums.
Right.
So we knew his work, and we liked it. We liked his work. And we hired him to do the house. And we met with him, and we decided on colors and fabrics and furniture, and let him do his work. So we went to Europe for 3 months. We came back. He was standing on the bar with a mop, mopping the ceiling. I'll never forget it. It was nighttime. We drove by the house. I said, Joe, there's someone in the house. Let's stop. Let's go in. It was Arthur. And he had just finished completing the decorating. And he did a magnificent job. And my husband needed an office, and I took over the closet. So he needed a closet for his clothes. So we hired William Cody, because Cody and Elrod had done a lot of work together, and they worked well together. And we loved Cody's work.
Did he build the Cody House there in Palm Springs?
Who? Bill Cody?
Bill Cody?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And so we hired him, and he built the office for my husband behind the master bedroom. And then what we did, we enclosed the area between the guest house and the main house and made that into, there was no place to sit and read a newspaper in that house. So we made that into a game room, a bar area, a music room, whatever you want to call it. We had a sunken bar, and we had a lot of black and white McGuire furniture, and that's where we lived. And I know Richard Neutra, the architect of the Kaufmann House, came down one day, and he looked at the work that Cody had done, and he proved. He said he did a magnificent job, because he did all the horizontal beams, and it was like a Neutra design. And we wanted to keep it like that, because that was the whole idea. He did a great job.
Yeah, you don't want to mess. You've got something so iconic.
Yeah.
You don't want to mess with that.
Exactly.
Now, how long did you guys live in that house?
About 10 years.
About 10 years.
Yeah, and it was fun.
Yeah.
We opened the house up for charities, and the house had never been opened. The Kaufmanns never opened it, so it was rarely seen. So when we lived in it, we opened it for a lot of charities, and we had fashion shows around the pool. Emilio Pucci came. We had 2 Pucci luncheon fashion shows, and he came one year. And that was one of the times when Slim Aarons, when Richard Neutra came to visit, he called one day and he said, I'm coming to the desert. I'm going to come over and visit with you. And we said, oh, okay. But we have a fashion show that day. And there'll be 200 Italians around the pool.
It might not be safe.
Sounds like trouble.
He said, that's okay. I'll stay in the kitchen. He was a very quiet guy. He didn't want to, he was not bashful, but he very much of a private person. So he stayed in the kitchen with my husband the whole afternoon.
Wow.
I said, you don't want to go out there with all those Italians. But it was fun. And then Bill Blass did a show one year around the pool. So we opened it for a lot of different charities.
And fashion was your profession prior to marrying Joe.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was fashion all my life.
Let's talk about that. You born in Texas?
Born in Texas.
How did that girl from Texas end up as
there was
royalty in Palm Springs?
There was a store in Corpus called Lichtenstein's. And I had been working part-time when I was going to college in Corpus Christi.
Well, visited there a lot.
And I was there all the time. And so I became, after a while, I got to know all of them. And I became their fashion director and their bridal consultant. And I did that for about 4 years. And then I moved from there to Memphis, Tennessee, and to a store called Lowenstein's. So I went from Lichtenstein's to Lowenstein's. And there was a gal there that had been working, and she was retiring, and I took her place and became their fashion director and their window display director. And I did that for a while, and I also had a television show called Mr. Bingle that we did every Christmas. And Gary's going to feature that in my This Is Your Life during Modernism this year.
Cool.
And he has pictures of me in my red velvet with my white fur trimmed hat. It was Christmas every year when we did it. And that was always fun. But then I moved from there to New York. A friend of mine also was in New York, and she was known as Betty. That was a trade name, Betty Barclay. It was owned by Linsk of Philadelphia, but the trade name was Betty Barclay. So she was Betty Barclay. When she retired, I became Betty Barclay. And I traveled all over the world. I lived in New York maybe 6 months out of the year. That's all, because I was traveling the other 6 months.
Yeah.
Putting on fashion shows with the new collections that we were doing, and at different department stores all over the country. I look at my calendar today, I don't know how I did it. Because I'd be in Palm Beach one day, and I'd be in Seattle the next day doing a television show at 7 in the morning. I did it.
Wow.
But I don't know how I did it. I was younger. And
And were you doing this all independently, moving by yourself to these different areas?
no, I was hired by Joe, my husband.
Okay.
And it was Linsk of Philadelphia that owned the company.
Got it.
And we had a showroom at 1407 Broadway in New York.
But he wasn't your husband when he hired you.
Yes,
Yeah, oh, he was.
it was.
When did you guys tell me about you and meeting Joe? And
I didn't have any interest in him in the beginning. He was a confirmed bachelor. I was a confirmed career gal. I did my thing. I traveled 6 months of the year, came back to New York, did my own thing in New York. And finally, he had a home in Bedford Village, and he invited me up there one weekend with 2 or 3 other people. And we had the best time. I was so impressed. I loved it. So I started going up on weekends. And that's how it all happened. We didn't let any of the salesmen know in the company. They didn't know until we got married. And that's when they found out. Because we didn't want it to get all over that area.
you didn't need everybody in your business.
No. And that's how it happened. I ended up in New York. I moved here from New York with my husband. He was a great guy.
And so when you guys moved here part-time, but then when did you come full-time?
We sold the city place at 40 Central Park South. We sold that like within a year after he retired.
Okay.
And then we kept Bedford Village, and we would go back to Bedford Village during holiday time, Thanksgiving and Christmas. And so we kept that for about 6 years. And then when we bought the Kaufmann House, that's when we started talking about maybe selling it. And then IBM moved in where our house was in Bedford Village, and they started buying up all the property, building on all the property. And
Bringing their employees in.
Yeah, and it ruined the rural feeling of Bedford Village. So we finally sold it and made this our permanent home. And we were never sorry.
I imagine not. The life that you have created here in the years you've been here is
Well,
pretty
it was
phenomenal.
always fun. And I got to know all the girls, Helen JoJo and Barbara Marx in those days before she was Barbara Sinatra.
You got to know Barbara before she married Frank, but Joe, your husband, was friendly with Frank Sinatra.
He was part of that
The
Rat
Rat
Pack
Yeah.
in New York because Manny Sachs was Frank's best friend. And Lester Sachs worked for Joe at Linsk of Philadelphia. So because of Lester.
And Manny was working with the record companies.
And so Joe became part of that Rat Pack, and we'd end up at Jilly's every night in New York. I knew Frank before I met Barbara.
Right.
In New York. But I met all the people at the Racquet Club in Palm Springs.
I need a time machine. I just need to go sit at Jilly's and watch this all happen.
I know.
And sit at the Racquet Club.
Would that not be amazing?
Be hanging out at that pool when you guys are taking that picture. That I guess that's what you're putting together.
Yeah. It was really great. Great. It was fun on weekends. The beginning of the season every year was the opening of the Racquet Club. That was the beginning of the season. And it would all be in the Farrell House in the back. And everybody would walk in and say, "How was your summer?" That was the line. And we'd all say, "Oh, it was great. It was great."
And Mr. Farrell always had some interesting stories, didn't he?
Oh, Charlie, yeah. He ended up on the end of the diving board one day, peeing in the pool.
Totally sober.
He had too many martinis at lunch.
Okay. Not sober.
At lunch.
He had a table in the Farrell House. No, in the Racquet Club when you walked in. The first table was Charlie Farrell's table. So he could see everybody when they came in.
The parties had to have just been legendary.
They were fabulous.
Yeah. Can you give us a few ideas of some of the ones you remember the most?
Oh, they were all so wonderful. And then people that had the condominiums there, they had parties in their condos all the time.
Was it like 7 nights a week that this stuff was going on?
Oh, yeah. We entertained mostly in those days. We entertained a lot in our homes rather than restaurants.
Yeah.
We had our favorite restaurants, too, like Down the Beachcomber and Ruby Dunes and the Dollhouse, and they were fun. And Down the Beachcomber was on Via Lola. And Kirk and Ann Douglas lived on Via Lola. And they would walk down the Beachcombers, and we'd all drive over. We'd all meet there. And Roy, who was the maitre d' there, he knew us all. He was always drunk. But he always they had a cabinet with all of our chopsticks. And they were all Linsk and all of our names on all of our chopsticks. And he always had them at our place when we sat down at the table.
Wow, that's the way to take care of a customer.
We all had our own chopsticks. But it was great fun.
I want a restaurant that puts my name on chopsticks. Actually, I just want a decent Chinese restaurant in the
Just
valley.
take a marker to P.F. Chang's and write your name on the chopsticks when you sit down. It'll look fancy.
Maybe Mr. P.F. would do that for
That's
me.
right.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some of the people that in those days, we didn't talk about Charlie Farrell, but like some of the other, Sinatra obviously was hanging around, but who else?
Oh, R.J. Wagner. They were all there. You name it. They all came down on weekends. They were all there. And it was like, we didn't think anything of it.
It was just what Palm Springs was.
Yeah, it was a normal thing. And they liked that because they didn't get any special treatment. But they always gave it color.
Yeah.
They always gave it a lot of color.
Now, Palm Springs went through some, right during the Mayor Bono years, went through some pretty major changes in changing when the spring breaks were coming in and there were some problems in there. How did that feel to you as you were watching all of that happening? And are you happy with the direction that Palm Springs ended up going?
No, I'm not happy at all because we had all of the stores. We had Saks, Magnons, I. Magnin, Joseph Magnin, Land's Shoe Department. We had all the stores in the Fashion Plaza. It was all here. The people that lived in Palm Desert had to come into Palm Springs to have dinner because they had nothing out there. And then all of a sudden, all the stores started going to Palm Desert and the Fashion Plaza closed. And a lot of the T-shirt shops started opening. I didn't like that at all.
Yeah.
We're trying to change that now. But it'll never be like it used to be.
No, I don't see how it could be.
No.
Yeah.
No, it'll never be.
Tourism changed a lot of that, didn't it?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Oh, sure. So many changes since then. Look at Coachella and Stagecoach and all of that. We didn't have any of that.
Nothing stays the same.
No.
Nothing stays. Yeah, talk about your friendship with Barbara Marx, named Barbara Sinatra, because that's how I got to know you. It was during the Sinatra golf tournament and spent.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I always did the fashion show during the Frank Sinatra luncheon. Barbara was my best friend. She and Joe had the same birthday, March the 10th, and we all celebrated their birthdays at our house, the Kaufmann House.
I'm guessing those are some pretty decent parties.
Oh, yeah. Barbara and I had a Pucci outfit that was down below the navel and a little bra top along to the floor. She had it in one color and I had it in the other color. She wore the biggest diamond she could find in her navel. And I got the biggest pearl I could find for my navel. And we had a little band every time we'd have a birthday party at our house. And we're always out there dancing. We were out there dancing every night, but especially at the birthday party. But those were special parties.
They had to. Yeah. Imagine getting invited to that.
I was invited once to a Barbara
Were you?
birthday party. Yes. Yeah, and of course Nelda was there. But much later. There were no, as far as I know, there were no pearls in anybody's navel.
Well, we didn't have the figure later to wear things like that.
One year I went.
Not every guest was required to put something in their navel.
I think everybody should have.
It's a naval party.
No, the party I went to, I remember, and it was Rita Vale, and Rita Vale called me and she said, "Patty, what are you doing on Thursday?" I said, "Nothing." It was Barbara's birthday, and it's just going to be small. It's going to be Nelda and a few other people. And I said, "Great." So I came over, and everybody else was already there. And
Was this at our house?
it was at
Barbara's house. Okay.
Yeah.
The one.
Morningside.
Oh, Morningside. Okay.
Yeah,
I can't remember.
Yeah. And I walked in, and it was the greatest compliment I ever got. Barbara looked up, and she said, "The last WAP is finally here. Look at me." I made it.
You're the last.
I was the last WAP. I want you to remember that, sir.
That's a fantastic story.
Oh, she was funny.
She was so funny.
She really
but tell
was.
me, I've heard this story, but other people need to hear this story. You guys used to go around Tamarisk playing golf, and you jump in everybody's pool.
In the summer.
In the
There's
summer.
Nobody
there
was around.
Yeah.
And all the houses closed up, and it was hot, and we didn't have very much on because there was nobody around. Didn't matter what we wore. We jump in everybody's pool. All around the golf course.
I love that story.
It was so much fun.
It's just the two of you, half naked, and just playing golf and jumping in pools.
There's people whose pools have been jumped into
by Nelda and Barbara,
and they don't even
They
know.
have no idea. They have no idea. Or they'd put a plaque up.
Yeah.
And our golf game was such that if we hit a ball out of bounds, we just drop another ball and hit another ball. That was the way we played golf.
Back then, it was a lot more limited as to where you could go play golf. We didn't have 140 golf courses
No, we had
in the valley.
Thunderbird, we had Tamarisk, we had O'Donnell, of course, but we always played Tamarisk.
And they were more than just golf courses.
Oh,
These
yeah.
were,
Oh,
this is
yeah.
where people went.
Oh, sure,
Yeah.
sure.
How did you get to first know Barbara?
How did I get to know her?
Yeah.
We started modeling together
Okay.
at the Racquet Club.
And she was still Barbara Marx at the time.
Barbara Marx, yeah. And then we
So
started.
she was living at Tamarisk then.
Yeah,
with-
they had a house right across the
Yeah.
street from Frank.
With Chico.
She was with
Zeppo.
and they were right across the fairway from Frank.
Yeah.
And she said one day, I'm going to build a tunnel to Frank's house. I'm going to build a tunnel to his house. And then she started going over and having dinner with Frank, with Zeppo. And a romance started forming, and that was it.
Was it pretty obvious that it was happening? Was it public?
No, not really.
No.
No. But it was happening, and when it happened very quickly. That she got a divorce very fast from Zeppo. Zeppo wasn't a nice guy.
No.
No, he wasn't nice. He didn't like any of her friends. He didn't want any of her friends around. He didn't want her entertaining at all.
You just want her staying home and waiting for him.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Well, that was not Barbara.
That was
it?
not
No.
Barbara. Barbara
And
liked to
she-
entertain.
and she didn't like it at all. She wanted her friends around. And she loved entertaining. And she was a great hostess. One of the best.
Well, look what her name has meant to this valley.
Yeah. You were one of the, you were sitting on the board as a founder of the Barbara Sinatra Children's Center.
I was there when the shovel was put in the ground.
That's right.
I remember when we were going around raising money. And I remember I had just sold a house. I was in real estate by that time. And I just sold a house to Don Knudsen, a client of mine from Minneapolis. Big, expensive home. And I said, let's go to Don Knudsen's. He'll give us money. So we called Don. And of course, when he said, I said, Barbara and I want to come over and talk to you. Of course. When? When? So we walked in, we sat down, and we showed him the plans of the house, of the children's center. And we were having a gala to raise money coming up about a month later. And finally he said, now, what do you want me to do? You want me to buy a table or buy a room? We knew he was going to buy a table.
Yeah.
So we said, oh, a room.
A room. Yeah.
$1 million room. He said, okay. And he ended up buying a table and a room. And so Barbara went home and started telling Frank the story. And she was so excited about Don buying the first room. He said, I'll buy the second room for $1 million. And we were on a roll. And we started making money for the Children's Center.
Can you imagine when there was a time when there were probably like 3 galas taking place in this town instead of 800 of them?
I think there was always more than 3.
Oh, were there?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Oh,
think about the folks back then who showed up for these things. That was just every name in the valley was
Remember
there.
that Italian restaurant on 111? It was set back off the street. And you parked your car inside and you walked in. What was the name of that place? It was always dark.
Sorrentino's? Was that it?
No, wait, it was in Rancho Mirage.
Alberto's.
Alberto's.
I remember one night we met the Annenbergs there. And we went into their private room. And we had all the plans for the Children's Center. And that's when he gave us the land that night at Alberto's.
Wow.
And we had a flashlight. We were showing
One
him.
night at Alberto's.
Yeah,
So how much property do you need? Here you go.
but it seemed so difficult, but it was so easy because these people were so generous.
And everybody was trying to help mold the valley,
Right,
Palm Springs. Yeah.
And when Children's Center, when they hear Children's Center, they're more giving.
Yeah, it wasn't a hard sell.
No.
You were doing something really unique. It hadn't been done here in the valley or very many other places for that, and it became a model for children's centers all over the country.
Oh, they're all copying us. Yes, they're all coming and visit, and we take them on the tour of the Children's Center, and they see what we do and see the results, and they think, oh, we're going to take this back and do it in our home. And
You must be extremely proud of your involvement with the Children's Center over the years. You helped to shape that facility.
oh, sure. Oh, I am. I go in there today and I think, my God, we built this from the ground up. And John Thorson is the best thing that ever happened
He's
to
the
the
current
Children's Center.
executive director there.
Yeah, he's so great for
He's
the Children's
great.
Center.
Terrific guy.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
What other organizations were you involved in the early times?
I was always on the board of the Desert Hospital. That was before Eisenhower was built.
Yeah.
And always active within that. And with Gloria Greer's MS,
Act for MS.
multiple sclerosis, always involved in that. And I was involved in everything.
And these were all things that were going to be necessary for this valley to grow.
Mm-hmm.
I remember Dick Oliphant talking about as 10 was coming in, they all had to learn how to do things that EMTs would do because there were no EMTs.
Exactly.
You know, they He might be building something in Indian Wells and then have to jump in a truck to take care of an accident on the freeway. But that's the way the valley was being built.
And I don't remember, but my husband remembers the days when we didn't have the freeway. You had dirt roads coming in from L.A.
Yeah.
And that's how they used to come in from L.A. on that dirt road.
Yeah, Dick would talk about
111 all the way to L.A.
Yeah. He would talk about getting stuck in a sand drift on Country Club back in 1962.
You still can.
That's a good point.
When we get to this gusty
Now
winds.
it's just Gene Autry now.
That's right.
And I remember when we used to have those floods, those rainstorms, and it would flood the washes, and we couldn't get home. We would be at like El Dorado or Thunderbird,
yeah.
and there's a dip in the road. We had to take a helicopter one night to get across the wash to get to our car.
Whose helicopter was it?
I can't remember. But
They should have put up a
it
zip line.
appeared out of the blue.
There's only a handful of people that could have a helicopter. Didn't Desi and Lucy, Desi built a bridge at Thunderbird for his use so he could take his golf cart back and forth.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's another wash that always flooded.
Yeah. And he got tired of, and he also didn't want to have to drive because he liked to have a cocktail.
And Frank
Just stop
Sinatra,
everybody.
that Frank Sinatra right there at the off of 111, that was always closed. That was always flooded when we had rains.
Oh,
heavy
yeah.
rains.
That was still true, and just up until a few years ago when they finally did a better job of fixing that.
Exactly, but they still haven't finished it.
No.
And they still haven't built any of those bridges they keep talking about building. They need to build those bridges.
When Indian Canyon gets shut down for another 9 years, maybe they'll do something about it.
Yeah.
How did you get involved in real estate? What made you transition to real estate?
I got tired of deciding who I was going to have lunch or play golf with the next day. I thought there must be something I can do. I didn't want a 9-to-5 job, which is a joke because real estate's 24/7.
24/7.
That's exactly right.
So I said, I'll do real estate. I'll be out with the public and I'll get to know people and I'll do it on my terms. And that's how I got into real estate. And it was the best thing I ever did.
You knew everybody in town.
I know.
That
And most of my work was referrals.
Yeah.
You knew everybody in town and everybody who came to town.
Well, and I listed some of the top properties, the Gerald Ford House and the Annenberg property and the Firestone property and
Those are pretty good
the
listings.
Frank Sinatra compound on Frank Sinatra Drive. I sold that when they moved back to L.A. And I had great properties. I had wonderful properties. It was fun.
I would have just put a picture of Poolside on the back of my card and just handed that out to everybody. Without any other information. How long did you stay active in selling real estate in town?
I'm still active. I'm not completely retired.
She can sell your house, Randy.
Yeah?
I'm not as active as I was.
I imagine having Nelda sell, there's got to be a little bit of a premium that comes with the selling of your house.
But the property's going to move. She's going to move the house.
Yeah, it's gonna sell.
So I better be prepared.
That's right. You better be packed when you put that sign up front.
I think we should all get in the back, take a nice picture. You can wear the same yellow outfit you were wearing back then.
I wear yellow all the time because of that yellow I was wearing that day.
do. I
Everything
bet
that
you
comes
do.
in, they call me at the stores and say, we got a yellow outfit in. And I go in and I buy it.
Now, remind me, what year was the picture taken?
1970.
1970. Okay. And how long before it started to appear and gain so much traction?
In the beginning, it wasn't that popular. I just wish Slim was here to enjoy it.
Oh, yeah.
Because he would love it, all the accolades. But it's more popular now than it was when it first was done. And it's been this way for about 10 years now, or longer. Or longer.
I think even longer.
Longer, yeah. 20 maybe. It's known all over the world.
Oh, I knew of that. I knew of that picture before I moved to the Valley.
You did?
And I've been here 15 years. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Unbelievable. No wonder all the photographers wish they had done it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Michael Childers said, I wish I'd done that photograph.
I'm sure he does.
I would love to. It would be so fascinating if we were at a time back then when somebody had realized, hey, we need to do a documentary behind the filming of this picture. Nowadays, that's what they do on anything that's
Right.
important, is it ends up being on Netflix in the
Right.
next 2 hours.
Yeah.
That had to be quite a day.
It seemed like yesterday. It doesn't seem like it was 1970.
And I know what the 60s were, but did the 70s continue in Palm Springs as just the party? That's what everybody was doing every night?
The 70s and the 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you moved into town and it started up all over again.
That's right. I got the parties going again. That's
You got it started again, Patrick.
Good job.
Wish that were true. I've been to a few of those. When you guys, you obviously have a very good recollection of that photo shoot and the party that they. Tell me about some of the other ones. You did so many things at your home for local charities and organizations.
We always did a big party during the Bob Hope Classic. And we'd always park a golf cart out in the front with two dummies dressed in golf outfits in the front of the house. And we had all the golfers and their wives, and we had a long table outside the living room sliding door, and it was a buffet. And tables all around the pool. And it was fun. People loved it. We had a great time.
Oh, yeah. It's such a perfect house for a party.
Oh, it is. It is.
Is that what you miss most about it, is the entertaining and the getting everybody over?
And that loggia upstairs, that had a fireplace that it was an extension of the fireplace in the living room. And we had that going all the time.
Oh,
and
nice.
we were up there. We had breakfast, lunch, and dinner up there. It had a dumbwaiter going down to the butler's pantry. That if we forgot a lemon, we'd call down and say, send a lemon up. They'd put a lemon on the dumbwaiter, pull the ropes, and send it up to us. My kids, my nieces and nephews used to come out, and they used to get on that dumbwaiter and go up and down. And I remember one year they're sitting up there throwing rocks into the pool.
Oh, my God.
Our pool men didn't like that at all.
No. Well,
These are some of the stories we hadn't heard about the Kaufmann House.
At my vast estate in Cathedral City, I'm considered the dumbwaiter. We forgot a lemon. Go get it.
Only when you're serving.
Now, all of a sudden, this photograph is enormous and it's iconic, and modernism comes along. Tell me how they recruited you into modernism, and it's going to culminate with they're not only rededicating your star, but adding a new etching onto it as the First Lady of Modernism.
I know. I can't believe they're doing that. It's the first time they've ever done it.
Yeah.
And they say that when I had the first dedication of my star, it broke all records in attendance. I didn't know that until I read it one day. And I'm sure this year it'll be the same. So I hope it'll be crowded. I hope a lot of people will come. It'll be exciting.
As soon as they hear this podcast, I think you're going to have
Exactly.
They're probably going to start camping out around the star.
I think it's February 12th, isn't it? It's 11 o'clock in the morning.
February 12th, rededication.
And I'm right in front of Chico's, right down from Sonny Bono's statue. And Harold Massner's right there.
So that's so exciting. And they're actually adding First Lady of Modernism.
First Lady of Modernism. Isn't that great?
That's really cool.
And you get quite busy. You do the last couple of years. You do presentations talking about Slim and his photography and that picture.
And I keep saying to Gary, aren't they tired of hearing those stories? And he says,
No.
there's a new group every year.
Yeah.
And besides that, they want another hour of listening to your stories.
That's the key.
An hour is not long enough. They want another hour. And I said, no, they're not tired of hearing your stories.
I think it's important, too, that they want to hear them from the people that were there. They're
Right.
not looking for a tour guide.
Right.
These were things that happened to you. It's not some third party telling
Right.
these incredible stories.
Right.
And it is harder and harder to find folks who were in the room with Frank and that sort of thing.
Yeah, these stories don't have to be built up.
No.
These are the stories. Yeah, of the building of this city.
Right.
Awesome.
Right.
Now, what was it like just hanging out with Frank and Barbara? Because you did that a lot.
Oh, yeah. We went to their house a lot for dinner parties. It was always very special.
Was it ever just the four of you?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Frank had a table at Ruby Dunes down at the end. And he had a red phone in the corner above him, right behind him. He could call the White House during dinner if he wanted to. And our table was right next to his table. So sometimes we'd have several people that would take the seats and we'd combine our tables. But they had dinner parties at their house a lot. And I used to love to watch Barbara and Frank. Frank would be at one table, Barbara would be at the other table. And he'd blow kisses to her.
Oh.
All during the night. And whisper, I love you.
Oh.
It was so sweet.
You and I've talked before that the stories that people don't know about Frank are really important to hear. The philanthropy, the way
yes.
he helped people out. The story I read about reading something in a paper about a local waiter or something that had gotten sick, and he
He'd
took
say,
care of
Jilly,
it.
take care of
That's
this.
exactly right. Yeah.
And Jilly would take care of it, and no one would know about it.
Jilly took care of a lot for Frank, didn't
Yeah.
No, he was his right-hand
he?
man.
Yeah.
And so did the gal that worked for them. I'm trying to think of her name. She was her right-hand man. But she took care of a lot of it for Frank. I had a dog that they were breeding Cavalier King Charles Spaniels. And they gave me one of their dogs. And Frank named him Luigi. Best dog I ever had.
Oh.
Best dog. Don't you love that name?
Luigi, yeah, I love that
Luigi.
name.
It's a name that Frank would name a dog.
And you love that breed to this day.
I just had one. Yeah. Just lost one about 2 years ago. Yeah. It's my favorite breed.
Yeah.
So the little girl in Texas gets into the fashion business. And now you're sitting here, and I'm not saying that this is a highlight of your life, but
She probably won't even remember this by the time
probably
she gets
won't
to
even
dinner.
remember. Is there ever any time when you sit back and you just pinch yourself? I can't believe
Yeah. Oh, how did all this happen?
that's what I mean.
And then I
yeah.
hear all the stories. Gary will put these stories together. He knows more about me than I know about myself. And I'm thinking, I had a good life, didn't I?
Yeah.
And yes, you did.
And you still are.
Yes, you did. I've really had a good life.
And I guess we need to ask, when is the event that you put together for Nelda? February 19th.
Oh, that's going to be This Is Your Life
This
on
is your
me.
life. Right. Yeah. So that's a Modernism Week event.
Exactly.
A
It's going to
ticketed
be
event.
at
It's probably
the
sold out.
Annenberg Theater, and it's on their website if anyone wants to get tickets. I think there's still tickets available.
Okay. Oh, they're good.
Yeah.
ModernismWeek.com. Go get your tickets for Nelda
Right.
for the 19th.
They even wanted my wedding dress, and it's been packed away for 60 years. My niece couldn't find it. I sent it to my sister. My sister passed away about 5 years ago, and we didn't know where she put it. So my niece went through every box of the attic, couldn't find it. Finally, she's in one of the guest rooms, and she looks over at a chest. And she says, I've got to clean out that chest. So she started cleaning the chest out, and there was my wedding dress.
Oh, my.
So she brought it last time she came last week. So Gary's going to have that in This Is Your Life.
Yeah,
And a picture of me wearing it at my wedding.
How many years since you'd seen the wedding dress?
I haven't worn it. I wore it that one time.
That one time.
And that was in 1964.
And seeing it again for the first time since then, how
Well,
was
it
that?
used to be white,
Yeah.
and now it's an off-white.
We
But
all are.
It has been stored in a chest with no bugs and no air. So it's been preserved,
Wow.
and it's in good condition.
It must be a delight for you to be able to reminisce like this, and not just for a couple people, but for an auditorium full of people. It must be great.
It is. People love hearing it. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. They love hearing it. And then there'll be a Q&A, and there'll be questions from the audience that are wonderful questions that I'd forgotten about, Thank goodness I'm able to answer most of them.
It's a unique thing about our area that the people who built it, many of them are still here and they still talking about it.
Right.
I think some of the most attended events in this town are events like they're going to be holding for you with the This Is Your Life, because people want to hear those stories, and specifically from the people who were there.
Exactly. Yeah, they want to hear it from me.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I can't wait till the 19th. This is going to be a great event.
Yeah, be sure and come.
I'll be
Patrick, can you come? It's that hour? 3 o'clock?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can? Oh, good. Good.
there. You might be able to get a ticket.
I'm just going to sneak in.
He can.
If he's lucky.
I'm not even sure they let me in. Is it the Annenberg? Yeah, I'll have to see if they're letting me in.
Why? What did you do?
I don't know. It's always something.
Nelda, this has been a delight. Thank you so
Oh,
much.
it's been fun. Thank you so much.
Always adore spending time with you, and
I love it.
great to have you come and tell these stories. Gary, thank you.
I was excited about this. Because I'm one of those people that just can't get enough of the history of this.
Oh,
valley.
good.
And Nelda
good.
experienced some of the best parts of that history. You were an architect of some.
Don't forget the rededication of the star. That's on the 12th.
12th.
Yep.
The
At
12th at
11.
11 a.m.
And the other one is on the 19th at 3.
All
At
right.
the Annenberg.
At the Annenberg, at the Art Museum downstairs, correct?
And then there's another documentary on Arthur Elrod that Adele Siegelman is doing. And that's later, and it'll be on the website also. But I'm in that as well with Alan Hess and several other people. That's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
She's still breaking news.
That's right.
Yeah. It's a great story. We did it up at the Elrod House at Southridge.
Right. It's one of the most, it was used in a Bond movie.
It's an incredible house, isn't it?
Didn't you do a fashion show up there?
Oh, yeah. Well, we had
more than one.
We had a dinner up there for Bill Blass when he was here. And I remember I picked him up at the Racquet Club and I escorted him to the party. And the minute I opened the door, it was just getting dark. And all the tables were set with the candles going and the lights of the city down below. He looked at that. He said, "This is incredible." And Bill Blass has seen every fabulous house in the world. Yep. But he said, "This is the greatest house I've ever seen." And it did look beautiful that night.
Oh, I'm sure.
With all the candles going and all the city lights. It was and he sent us fabric, little beige. It was beige in color with a little BB all over it that we made into tablecloths. So every table had that tablecloth.
Oh, wow.
And he was impressed by that. He said, "Oh, my tablecloths, my tablecloths." Oh, he had a good time. He loved it.
Thank you for sharing all of this with us.
Oh,
This
thank
was amazing.
you.
This is
Thank
just a little
you.
tidbit. So
Oh,
if you
man.
enjoyed the podcast, be sure to get your tickets for the 19th, February 19th for Nelda's event and the This Is Your Life event. So we look
I got
forward to that.
goosebumps a couple of times during this conversation, so thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. Our guest, Nelda Linsk, thank you so much.
Thank
It's been great
you.
to have you. Of course, our producer, Mr. John McMullen. Thank you, Randy. Always great job.
Thanks for asking me back.
Thanks to the team here at Skip Page's Little Bar for taking such good care of us. And be sure to subscribe to Big Conversations Little Bar so that you never miss another episode. We're always available wherever you get your podcasts.
Big Conversations, Little Bar is a production of the Mutual Broadcasting System. This podcast is available in audio and video format. Visit our website at www.bigconversationslittle.bar.com. New episodes are released every Monday.
Athletes and dreamers, stars of the screen, leaders and builders, and all in between, sharing their journeys big conversations, little bar.